In 1993, a sociologist by the name of George Ritzer actually introduced us to a term called McDonaldization. McDonaldization. What McDonaldization focused on was the idea of efficiency, predictability, and control. And you needed to also be able to calculate it as well. Now, why was that so important? Well, in 1993, one of the things that Ritzer indicated was that our society had transitioned over to more of a fast food type of society. In essence, again, it's about how quickly can I serve someone, how quickly can I get a particular outcome, while at the exact same time being efficient in regards to it. So I'll provide you with a little example. So let's say you go to a fast food restaurant, right? As soon as you get there, you pull up, you go to the intercom, you tell them what you want. Once you tell them what you want, you drive up to the next window and there's a monetary transaction. You make the monetary transaction, and then the next step is what? I drive to the second window and there's an arm sticking out, and all I do is I reach out, grab my food, and I go. What type of human connect do we really find in regards to that? Not that much, do we? What we have learned over the years is that it has actually permeated our entire society in the way that we communicate with one another, the way that we connect with one another, the way that we go about trying to develop relationships with one another. So fast forward from 1993 now to 2023. What an example. It gives you some idea of exactly where we've gone. Because today, when we're looking to make friends, all we have to do is go to Facebook. How many friends do we have in Facebook, right? And for whatever reason, we think that those particular relationships are transformational. They're definitely not transitional. Quite often, they're transactional. Or then we go to, let's say, LinkedIn. When we go to LinkedIn, what are we doing? We're trying to connect with individuals. But are those real and true connections that you're making with LinkedIn? Or are you really connecting with individuals based upon what they are, as opposed to who they are? Not to mention Twitter, which is now X, right? So now if I want to be liked, all I have to do is just put some tweet out there, and then once I do so, look, see how many likes I get. If I get a lot of likes, then I'm thinking individuals like me as well, but we know that that's not always the case, is it? Absolutely not. And then obviously you have your Snapchat, you have your Instagram, and some others as well. But what we know is that we continue to communicate with one another and interact with one another in a fashion that's not necessarily with a strong foundation. So with that being said, we talk about this whole idea of serving one another, right? And helping other people elevate. Well, how do we do that? We do that through a concept that we refer to as merely being available to one another. So what does availability actually mean, or being available mean? It means, one, being authentic. Being authentic in the relationships that you have. It means that you volunteer your time, which is probably the most precious thing that you could possibly give someone. It means that you are action-oriented. Where you don't just say certain things, but individuals expect you to actually take action, which is extremely important. It means also that you are intentional. In essence, you're going to be present. You know, you've probably had conversations with individuals sometimes and you're thinking to yourself, I don't even know if they're necessarily here, if they're necessarily listening to me. But be intentional in regards to what you do. And then we're going to learn to listen. We had to learn to listen to one another. Now, I know sometimes we say, well, with these ears sticking out the way they do, surely you're a great listener, right? But this is not about listening with your ears. This is about listening with your heart. Because when you listen with your heart, and what happens is you get to hear the heart of other individuals. You get to hear their soul and their spirit as well, which is extremely important. And then there's this whole idea of being accountable. What does accountable mean? It means not only am I accountable for my actions, once again being action-oriented and intentional, but I'm also accountable for the words that I say and how I say those particular words, to make certain that I do it with what we deem to be with love. And then there's be better. The reasonable expectation that we should have for ourselves, let alone other individuals, is that we are inclined and we're convicted to just be better each and every day. To be better today than I was yesterday, and to be better tomorrow than I am today. That's a great commitment to have. And then love. You know, that thing that made you a little bit awkward, feel a little bit awkward earlier. Yeah, that's the idea behind it. How do we love one another the way that we love ourselves? And then, last but not least, enthusiasm. Everything that you do it with passion. Everything that you do it with verve. Everything that you do, be all in. Because if you are, I guarantee you, you will always meet that mark in regards to being better. Be enthusiastic in regards to it.